We have to use that last flashlight, but it's dead.
It's okay.
Oh, I know. Oh, no.
Hey everyone, sorry we are a little late. That's why I don't really like mentioning a time, but nonetheless we're here. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. We're doing it later in the day this evening, so we don't have that outdoor natural light, and I can't find the extension cord for the light that I have here, so we don't have good lighting, but nonetheless, the show must go on. So welcome, ladies. This is our second episode. This is our second session of featuring some of our past Yoni Spa clients who are just going to tell you their story, their experience with Yoni steaming. Hey everyone, please share this live with your friends. Share the poster or share the live in their DMs, and we're going to get into some of the benefits of Yoni steaming, what it has done for Regan, why she invites all her friends to come and join us. So go ahead and share this live. And if you have, thank you, Afri Queen. Thank you for the love. Thank you for sharing. So we've kept you guys. So I believe, I don't know why I can't wave back at you, but I see y'all coming in. So I think that Regan started coming to the Yoni Spa in about 2018, and she's in the West End, I'm in the East End. She came all the way. She loved it, and then continued to come and invite friends. So I wanted to mix it up. Regan already has a son, and so she wasn't coming for fertility issues. We do have quite a few more fertility stories to share with you all. As you know, I've just recently trained. Change the format. So I just recently let everyone know that I do support a lot of women and with the fertility issues, and during the COVID, the pandemic, was working and getting certified as a fertility doula. And so because of that, I did want to share some of the past clients that I've been supporting over the years who are either pregnant now or have gone on to give birth. Actually, a lot of them gave birth during the pandemic. So I have more of those stories to share with you, but what I didn't want to do is only feature fertility support stories, because I don't want you to think that that's the only reason why you would be steaming. And if you already have children or you're not trying to have children, then you don't want to steam. So it was really important for me to fit in Regan's story earlier than later, before we get on an ongoing track of featuring fertility stories. But steaming is very good for fertility support. So I'm not going to keep you waiting anymore. So my friend Regan, if you want to go ahead and send me an invite to join us, and we're going to get started with your story. So Regan has not gone live before. I know when I'm watching lives, it does ask me if I want to. There we go. I don't know if it allows you to do it again, but
Hi.
Hey,
It worked.
welcome to the show.
It worked. I'm like in video production and I've never done this before. This is like so crazy. But
Yeah, so it's your first time going live. Welcome.
yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. I brought headphones just in case.
Okay. So yeah, I hope everyone's ready. Got the kids settled. I sent out.
I brought
So
my liquid courage.
that's actually part of why we're late.
Hey, Marina!
I was busy making some smoothies.
Smoothies. Oh, I like my smoothies. This is going down really smooth.
So yeah, there's no prep for this. That's one of the things that people ask me when I first ask them, like, do you want to go on live and tell your story? They're like, are you gonna like tell me what to say? Da 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 da. I don't want to tell you what to say. This is just a candid conversation. So I always like to ask, did I prep you? Did I tell you anything to do or say tonight?
Absolutely not. All you told me was, oh, just whatever I asked you in your survey. And I'm just like, what did she ask me? Oh my
like
goodness.
months ago. Like this was back in February.
I have no clue.
I think I did like a special, like if you guys did a survey, you'd be entered in to win something. Not everyone participated, but you did. So yeah, in that survey, I asked you guys like, why did you start Yoni steaming? Why did you continue Yoni steaming? You know, what has it done for you? And so we are just gonna have that conversation live. That's it.
Okay, cool. And of course, with the cue, here comes the child. Real? No.
Hi.
Not now. I bribed him and everything. Okay, so the question was, why did I start?
No, let's first start. Every time you guys come in, I always ask you guys this question. So how did you first hear about Yoni steaming?
So I first heard about it when I went to a hair show. Your little handout was actually in the bag. And so I got a certain percentage off. And I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I did a little research and then that was it. I put it aside.
So that was the first time you had ever heard about Yoni steaming?
That was the first time.
So shout out to Stephanie over at Textured. That was the hair show that you discovered me and Yoni steaming at. And I just like to throw this out there for anybody in business, how important swag bag inserts are. Because as we were preparing for this, I let you guys know that Regan has definitely sent like the most referrals of all time. She's always sending people. She takes them by the hand and puts them in her car and brings them down here herself. And we never met in person when she first discovered my business, what I do, what steaming is. So never underestimate the power of a flyer. I have some clients that are in business that come in. I'm like, where's your flyer? You can leave it here. I can share it to people. They're like, no, I just have an Instagram. Their Instagram is bomb. Their website is bomb. But old-fashioned flyers,
it works.
You know, some people look at the swag bag like it's just junk mail. People aren't gonna like it and stuff. But look at where we are today. So for me, I'm just like,
it totally paid off for you over and over and over again. Plus your services. So
yeah. So you found me there. And what was your first reaction to, you heard it that way. You didn't get to see my passion or hear my story. You just saw a little blurb on what it is.
So I put it aside for a bit. And then after, there was a moment where I had to call you because I wasn't feeling myself in certain areas. Mm-hmm. So I picked up the phone and I called and I told you what my situation was. And you're like, yeah. We can handle that. I can handle that. No problem. So I was like, good. Can you take me this Saturday? And I live in Mississauga and you live in Oshawa and you only do weekends and you only take limited clients. So I was just like, I'm sorry, book me in. I'm packing my child up in the car and I'm coming. And that's how it happened.
That's pretty much how it started. Yeah. So I think you started coming in 2018. That was my first year of business. So you started coming back then. and you came down.
Yes.
So, what was it like when you tried Yoni steaming for the first time?
It is like, it's so comfortable. It's like a spa experience for your nether parts. So basically, it's just really relaxing sitting with you and chatting with you. It was really relaxing and comforting. And it's like when I left, I just felt totally relaxed. It's like after a massage, you feel like so totally relaxed. But then you get hit with that Mack truck feeling where, because all the endorphins are released, so then you start to feel pain after a massage.
Mm-hmm.
But for this, you don't feel any pain. You just feel totally relaxed. And I drove back from Oshawa to Mississauga, and Chow was sleeping in the back, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like so good right now.
So you mentioned like when you go for a massage, you really feel good right away, but then there's like sort of that after, almost like an aftertaste. So, did you experience any negative side effects?
No. So afterwards, that actually after is when everything kicks in, because after that, I actually went on vacation, and I told my friend, the first client I referred you to, referred to you, what was happening. And I'm like, girl, like we were in the ocean, and I'm like, yo. And I told her everything that happened and how I was feeling, and the consistency of things going on down there. And I was just like, this is like unreal. So she's like, are you for real? I go, yeah. I go, okay, let's give it a day. Let me see how I feel after that day. So the next day I'm like, yo, it's the same thing. So I was just like,
everybody wants to know what it is that you were feeling that was so good while you were on vacation and it continued.
It's like when you, okay, so the consistency of down there is supposed to be like a gelatin looking clear consistency.
Clear.
And that's what it was. Like, even I've had situations when I've gone to like vacation, you're in a wet bathing suit, and you want to stay in that wet bathing suit and chill out and everything. But I can't. I'm not that person. I have to get out of the ocean and go dry up and change right away. Mm-hmm. But this, I didn't have to. Like, it was day after day, and I was totally fine.
Right.
So yeah, it was really an interesting experience. So then that's when I told my friend, and then she said that she was going to try. And I think she messaged you and came right after.
She came down, and she's also somebody, who became a regular and was loving the West End location as well. So that was the beginning of you sending your girlfriends over. So what made you come back? If you can get into what steaming did for you, has done for you, the reason why you continued.
Okay, so the reason why I continued is, first of all, it's me time. It's time that I can do some self-care for myself and to just relax and feel relaxed and just have something that is for me where I feel good about all parts of my body, right?
It feels good. So you continued because it feels good. And I think that's
good.
like
makes me feel good.
I think it's a bit of a misconception out there. Like people who like don't know and they're not sure. They're sort of like well, that's the only like negative thing that I find is consistent. And the miscommunication out there is that you could burn yourself. And so if
you don't allow that to happen. You don't allow that to happen. And I'm the one that
I'm like, okay, it's safe to get on. You're like, I'm already on it.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to get on that chair and get going. And you're like, no, you need to let it cool a little bit, right? And then I will be the one that's doing this thing here to let some steam out. Doing the rock to let some steam out. But
those are the tricks. Yeah, those are the tricks.
You get so excited to do for yourself. There's such a like a taboo about your body parts. I have to give it up to Nicki Minaj. Seriously, WAP has changed everything. Everything. Like, we can now talk about our parts, right? I don't know if DJ Aphrodisiac is still on the call, but she's like another person that kind of puts it out there and talks about females and their genitalia, and without like there being any taboo about it. Like,
right.
there's no nastiness about it or anything. It's just like
it's so funny that you say that, because that was definitely like part of my vision and mission in the beginning. Was I want us to be able to talk about our reproductive health and our lady parts without women start giggling, like when you mentioned that's what we're talking about, right? And it's like that because you only think of it as for sex, and really for pleasing men more so.
Right.
And when I say sex, really,
right.
And it's like there's just so much to reproductive health, not only just not for pleasure, but even not just for having children. Like knowing that, you know, your reproductive health, your uterus, it's really like the core for a woman. And it's literally the book that this is resting on is like a favorite, The Fifth Vital Sign, talking about the fact that a woman's period is like a vital sign. And when your period is off, it's actually telling you something about yourself. Something is off, right? There's so many different signs in our health, like our skin and like, you know, odor, as we know now. When you do have an odor, when you do have a like a discharge, not the clear stuff, it is something to check out. And not to say like, because a lot of times people get into saying, well, you know, it's not supposed to smell like peaches and there's no need for shaming. And it's just like, it's not about shame. It's just about, if you know that there's something's off, do something about it, right? And that's really the conversation I want to start.
And that's another thing about the smell. There is none.
There you go.
There was none.
Yeah, I really want to stop this talk about they're not supposed to smell like peaches, because there's just not, it's not supposed to be an awful smell. It's not supposed to be a fishy smell. And they really encourage that, like from school, that like that's just normal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I like the new normal. I was for the 2020 new normal.
The new normal.
Yeah.
There's no smell.
And when you talk about, I noticed that you commented about being for your man and stuff like that. Can I talk about my man?
Tell us, spill the tea.
Okay, I'm not going to tell everything, but he was extremely happy with the outcome in many ways. And he was really the person that paid for my next ones. So I was able to pay for other people's. And he also offered to buy me my own stool and was like, well, yeah, you could put it here, and like reorganizing my room so I know where to put it. And I'm just like, you're a little too happy.
But the thing is, it's so funny because your story is like not your It's literally Opal from last week. It was the same thing. I was like, when are you going back? I'll pay for it. I'll get you there.
Yeah. They're extremely, extremely happy about the outcome, and they don't care. It's better than nails and hair.
Yeah, they would agree. They would definitely agree. If you guys had to find it in the budget, they would definitely tell you, forget about your hair, your nails, your brows, your lashes.
Right. Just steam. I will pay for a lifetime of steaming. Yeah.
Regular steaming.
He was quite happy with the outcome. And so, yeah.
So you mentioned the odor. I definitely get people messaging me back saying like, I've never had an odor-free period, you know, or just, you know, the smell down there is gone different. Somebody said they smell different according to what they eat. That's very true for sure. The cleaner you eat, the better the scent, right? That's just what it's going to be. The same with men as well, as far as the texture, and taste of them is going to change with diet. So diet is really important, which is something that we want to get into soon here, is nutrition support, because I find that people often come in with these issues and conditions based on their lifestyle, and we're able to fix some things with steaming, but once you go back to that same lifestyle, you come back with the same problems, right? And as much as I want to see you guys, you know, all the time and on a regular, I don't want to see the same reoccurring issues. It's great to be steaming for maintenance purposes, but not to be, you know, constantly having to heal and improve the same old thing. So it's great that we're looking at all of that for sure.
So another thing, I have two more things that I want to mention. So another thing is the education part. What you're doing right now is what you do when we're sitting in a session, is educating me about steaming, educating me about nutrition, educating me about, we talk about so many different things. So it's kind of like a barbershop. So you talk about all different things that, and that also adds to mental health. So this is why it's really difficult right now when we're all cooped up and we don't have this interaction with our sisters and means to take care of ourselves. So like, I can't wait to get back to it. I can't wait till you open the West End. But I will make the drive. If I could drive to Niagara, I could drive to Oshawa.
Thank you. Say it again so they can hear it in the back. It's worth the drive to Oshawa.
It's worth the drive to Oshawa.
So we actually, in COVID, I guess people were home. They were stuck at home and they're like scrolling. So we actually had a lot of new people discover us through the pandemic and come out. And so we have like a lot of people from Brampton now that are coming out on a regular basis in downtown. So yeah,
we need to open something in Brampton. You always talk about how many people you have in Brampton.
I know. Mississippi and Brampton is definitely the biggest part of my clientele. We're working on something. So next time in Toronto. Yeah. So Toronto.
Yes, you will go. You will go. I will take you. Trust me. Ask Menina. Ask Monifa. Ask everybody that I've referred to. I've literally driven people
Opal
to
used
Oshawa.
to take transit. She's all the way, you know, I think Etobicoke area. She used to take transit down. Definitely all doable. So we appreciate that. There's alternatives. So I also have the herbs available for purchase on my website to try steaming at home. I now have stools available for you to get the stool and do it at home. But like she said, part of the experience is this, you know, sitting, chilling, and vibing with me. And like she said,
that's
it's good
why
for your
I haven't
mental
bought
health.
my stool. That's why I haven't bought the stool.
It's so funny, you know, there's people, she took me and I love the experience. So there's people who bought the herbs during the pandemic because I'm like, you got to get the herbs because we can't lose the progress that we've made, right? Like we fixed your period or we got you off birth control. So for that reason, like get the herbs and keep steaming, even though we're all stuck home. And they did that and they still have the herbs, but they've come back. So like you said, there's something about, you know, coming. So, you know, one of my clients this week was like, no, I like it on my calendar. I know I'm leaving my house and I'm going and I'm taking care of myself. And it's true that there's people who like, you'll get something to do it at home and you don't stay on it. Right? Yeah. So, and I think it's so important what you said, touching on the mental health, because we do need to talk. And like, at first, like I'm a stranger and you have to be somewhat vulnerable with me when you fill out the intake form.
Right.
And then we can talk candid about that. You know what I mean? I'm not your girlfriend, your best friend who's judging. Like, why do you have this infection? Why do you have this? Like, what happened, you know?
Yeah.
And so because of that, you're finally talking and releasing a lot of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Getting things off your chest, dealing with some stuff from the past. How do I deal with it, you know, right now in the present? And so we're having candid conversations with no judgment and dealing with a lot of stuff. So I love that part of it.
It's therapy. It's girlfriend, tea time, wine time. It's everything that we need.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, to get through. That's why it's worth the drive to Oshawa. And I've referred friends that are totally fine. I've referred friends that have fibroids. I've referred friends on menopause. Like I am like the biggest advocate. I have talked to people that I've just met, like, yo.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
you brought a coworker on your lunch break.
Yes, that was the best thing is being able to go on your lunch break.
I
Yes,
know.
that's what
I
I did
know.
on my
West
lunch break.
End, West End.
Oh my gosh.
Being able to come on your lunch break.
I can't wait. So
yeah, no, honestly, you and Opal from last week, like, I always call her my biggest unofficial brand ambassador because, like, as she's like leaving and coming to appointments, she's like, "Have you done this before? You're gonna love it." Like, oh my gosh, and she's just like, you know? And she tells everybody. She was the one behind, trying to do a pop-up in Montreal because she's from there and she really wanted to do something there. So I call her that, and like you, definitely the most referrals ever because you're always sending people. Love that. So you said there was something else that you wanted to share about why you like it.
Yes, the length of your period. So I was normally, the 6, 7 sometimes. Then it reduced to like 3 days, 4 days. And now it's like at a steady 3, 4. Like,
is it so 3-4 days of like pad wearing and then like spotting for day 5?
For day 4 is spotting.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like spotting, heavy, and then spotting.
Your last day.
Yeah.
And how do you feel in your period?
I don't even know. The only reason why I know that it's coming is because I get these like little hairs that pop up.
Okay.
My little man hairs.
That's
like my little chin hairs. I'm like, people get acne. I gotta get like this one hair.
But you can get rid of a hair a lot easier than acne, right?
Yeah,
so
true.
You just pluck that bad boy out. So that's what I've never heard of that sign. So that's when you know it's coming, like next week.
I know. Yeah, I know it's coming. I'm like, oh man. And then I check my calendar and I'm like, yeah, you're due in 4 days. So I'm like, yeah.
I was just gonna say, are you tracking? So you use the app and you track it?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Yes.
So it's regular?
Very regular.
Okay. So it shows up same time every month.
Yeah. The only time that it's messed up is if there's women with, I haven't been around any other women because of nice COVID. Like when I'm around girlfriends or people, coworkers and stuff like that, and they're like pheromones mess up your flow.
Okay, so that's throwing it off a little bit, but you don't like it doesn't go missing.
Yeah, no messing. No, girl.
Right.
No,
so it's always here, but like we said, it's a vital sign, so we want it showing up.
Yes.
And
oh, do we ever? I am probably the only one that celebrates
when it comes.
When it comes.
Well, yeah, listen, for different reasons, we always want to see that. Yes. It's there. We're healthy. So you said that you don't know it's there. So what does that mean? Like, what was your period before steaming and what is it now?
Well, it was longer. It was certainly longer.
Was it like too long? Like what was long?
7 days is long.
7 days is a week and it's supposed to be a week. So
no, that's too long.
But you didn't have like 9-10 days. It wasn't like
no.
Okay.
No. You be crazy? No. No. Why would they do that to us?
Stop it. Sometimes people do.
Oh my God, I feel bad for that person.
But we're working on it. We're working on it. We're like she said, we can cut it down. 7. So you had long. So you had long periods.
7. Now it's like 4. 4's good.
4's good.
4's good.
4 is good.
4.
Especially since like, you said you have those 2 heavy days, so I know that like things are coming out. And then how are you feeling? What is the pain level? What's the cramps?
I've never, only when I was younger did I have cramps, and then they stopped. They came back a little after Riel, but other than that, my periods haven't been painful. Thank the Lord.
Yes.
Because I have friends that have had
really painful
periods. So yeah, I'm pretty lucky on that.
That's good. So so I just wanted to know like what other things you experienced around your period. So basically the length improved for you.
Yes.
You're liking.
Improved. Yes.
And so you didn't have
Even
bad cramps.
even the color of
Yes.
it.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yes.
So, what's the color?
Bright red.
Bright red from
Bright
beginning to
red.
end.
Corvette.
Yeah, thank you. Correct.
Corvette.
So I always tell people your period should be like a nice bright red from beginning to end. A lot of times we have darker brown, maroon, burgundy kind of stuff, which is kind of like the color of a scab. So if you get a scratch or a burn and then it scabs over, it's dark brown. That dark brown is a sign of like old dry blood. So the same in your period, if you have that dark brown, that is like last month's period that didn't come out. And so the steaming is helping to get everything out. Therefore, when you have your period, it's just this month's period. Therefore, it's bright red because it's fresh. And so that's stagnation that we work on when you first start coming in. The first couple sessions is going to be geared towards that. And then once you achieve that perfect period, which is a pain-free period, an odor-free period, and a bright red period, then that's when we've, can move on to either other things or maintenance, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's where we need to get back to that because we haven't been for a minute.
Yes. And Oshawa is reopened, so you are welcome to bring
book by appointment.
Aphrodisiac DJ.
DJ Aphrodisiac. Oh, she's in the States. She's in the US right now.
She's in the US. Okay.
Yeah, so when she comes up, I will.
Yes.
That will be our first joint to hit.
That needs to be on the list. Yeah, so you told all your friends, as I said, you definitely are constantly referring and sending people. And what do you tell your girlfriends? What are you telling them? Now you can tell the masses. What are you telling them?
So basically, I'm telling them, well, it depends on where they're at. But for the most part, I'm telling them that it's something that you're doing for yourself. You feel cleaner, you feel better. It's like a cleansing. And I'm saying, like, sometimes it's really hard to explain how it makes you feel, but it's like, it's kind of spiritual. It's because you have this steam. I don't know. I get this like really spiritual feeling when I'm doing it. And then we talked about ancestors doing it and other people, like how it traditionally passed on. And then it just stopped because we got into modern medicine. So it's kind of like going back to old traditional ways. We're going back to having our hair natural. We're going back to eating better. We're vegans.
Natural.
So it's like all of this we have to start to incorporate into our core now and just do things for ourselves because mental health is very important. Physical health is very important. We already know that the system doesn't care for us as a people. So we need to care for ourselves. So this is just one way. It's not super expensive to care for yourself. You can get your hair done. You can get your nails done. You can get your eyelash extensions. You can get your dermabrasion. You can get all of this stuff done. Why not do this too?
Right. So you're taking care of your physical health, your reproductive system, even if you're not interested in, conceiving, it's still important right up into menopause. Your mental health, the time that you take out and you just sit. As she said, the steam is there. Good conversation. I know I have really relaxing music playing. Sometimes, like, depending on the client and like how I'm reading them, sometimes people are like busy in their phones and I know they've taken time away from work. Sometimes I leave them, sometimes I sit and chat with them. But no matter what, it's just like a whole experience where it's just like, it's you time, like really you time. Absolutely. And then on the flip side, you've brought girlfriends down. And so we also have fun when we bring a group too.
Yeah, things that we talk about, like when I brought one of my friends, she's on the live right now, and she was like, yeah, I remember, like she went, I'm a little bougie, so I sit on the chair, but she went down onto the stool. And she's like, no, I remember this stuff from back home in Africa and everything. And it's just like it's a connection, and we get to talk about the things from our past. We get to talk about our lives, our reproduction, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I
you
mean, I
told
think
us
when
a
she came, we
story.
really got into a lot about like culture and everything too,
Yeah.
right? Because she had the relatives there, and like they knew the herbs and the bush and everything like that. So it's definitely interesting. The experience, I think, takes us to a conversation that we would never typically have doing anything else. You know what I mean? The things that come up while we're steaming, I think would only come up while you're steaming and
Yeah.
around that. So very, very good for beyond the physical. So I love that you brought up the mental health as well.
Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah. So is there anything else that you want to let the people know about your experience or your position on why you steam?
I think like, so you have to try it at least once.
That's what you always said.
Calling me from his phone. Um, because I'm not answering that door. You have to try it at least once for yourself. Honestly, it makes you feel so good. If you have a partner, it will make him feel extremely good.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we have to start taking care of ourselves, and we can't rely. We already know we can't rely on the system, the medical system. We have to start doing things for ourselves and reverting back to
Absolutely.
what has kept our generations and generations and generations to live up to 100 and 100 and whatever, and having babies when they were 60 and having all 12, 13, 21 babies. Like, we
Yep.
need to get back to that. There's too many of us that have fibroids. There's too many of us with endometriosis. There's too many of us that they want to give us a hysterectomy in our 30s, in our 20s, and stuff like that. Like,
Whether you've had children or not.
Yeah. So you have to, like,
I think
I've
my
had,
biggest pet peeve is the birth control before you're sexually active, the
right?
lifestyle drug.
I'm just like, I've had 2 C-sections for preeclampsia. And it's just like, why is all of this happening when generations and generations and generations before us were having babies in fields with no doctors and no anesthesia?
Right.
Like, so we have to do things for ourselves, and this is one thing that we could do that will, honest to God, make you feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than a massage.
There, she said it. It's better than a massage. So, for the guys that are listening, her birthday, Christmas coming up, Valentine's. If you were thinking of just getting her the same old massage, like, save your time and money, get her something that you'll both enjoy, and order yourself a gift certificate for the Yoni Spa, and let her enjoy her first Yoni steam experience.
Yes, and then you will enjoy your first Yoni experience.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Giving. For real.
So that is Regan's story of why she steams and what she said to everyone else, which is you should try it at least once. This looks completely different when I'm the one hosting than when I'm watching. So I just want to see if we missed any questions. I love these testimonies. I'm staying positive and looking forward to eventually sharing my story. Yes, she's been coming in regularly, so I'm looking forward to her story too. My pom pom scent changes according to what I eat. We talked about that comment.
DJ Aphrodisiac.
Next time she comes to Toronto, okay, love the experience. Okay, I think we got it all. So
I was hoping more, although it's like a lot of TMI, I was hoping more guys would log on. I saw a few come in and then they left.
Yeah, there was a guy at the beginning. I know there's a guy that follows me. He's a doctor as well. He recommends. So a lot of people, you know, they'll catch the replay.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know
Think
through my family.
it's pretty taboo. Like they don't want to talking about
It's so funny. It's funny you say that because I was on a business call. We were able to like share our business, and they're like, "Do you want us to make it women only?" And I'm like, "No, I actually like talking with men in the room." And the reason why is because, like you said, it's taboo until your wife or your daughter is like struggling to conceive. It's
Right.
not taboo anymore.
Right.
And to be honest, like for me, I actually discovered Yoni steaming because of a man. Like men in your life are suddenly involved in the conversation when you have issues. So those of you who don't know my story, I had my daughter, and then with having her, I discovered I had fibroids, and the fibroid grew to be like 13 inches, and I had to have surgery to remove it. And it was when I was scheduled for surgery that, again, it's not taboo to talk about your issues and what's going on when you're going for major surgery. And so it was my best friend's man that had mentioned, you know, in Africa, they steam and get rid of fibroids. Like, this is what it is. And you know, I started looking into it, researching it from there. So, you know, when things get, excuse me, when things get real, when, you know, shit gets real and things get tough and you're having issues with your reproductive health, all of a sudden, you know, they're not squirming away from the conversation. You know, they're very much interested and concerned. And so I like for men to be a part of the conversation simply because they can just file the information. When they do see a sister, an auntie, a friend, or their own wife dealing with something, they can say, you know, I was on this live and I heard this girl's story, and, you know, go check it out. Right.
Yeah.
So share with the men too.
Yes, please do.
So thank you for coming on and sharing your
Thank
story.
you for having me.
And those of you who have been here and have a story too, I encourage you to send me a DM. As you heard, you know, she didn't have any big, crazy, intimidating problems. It wasn't fertility. However, she came, she experienced, she benefited, and she is sharing her story. So we want to feature all of them. I really want to change the narrative. So we're not shoving information down your throat as people who have a business. Instead, we're going to spotlight people who have a testimony. So DM to be featured. Thank you everyone for coming out. If you still have any questions that we didn't address, then go ahead and send me a DM and I'll try to get to it in the next live. All right. Good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Regan. So that is our second session. I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening, staying on the live, and sending your questions and comments. We really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks for all the love. I saw all the hearts. Felt like I was like, you know, in a versus battle winning. But thanks so much for coming out, guys. Again, send a DM if you have any questions or any concerns, anything that you have been, any concerns that you've had or that you've wrestled with in thinking of steaming and you're not sure if it's for you, go ahead and send me a DM and we can have a conversation. All right, guys, good night.